Hello there everybody, so Butter92aka Nightmare. Welcome back to Umineko. Okay, now allow me to give a bit of a explanation here. One of you was kind enough to send me some links to get down the Japanese version of this, as well as I think also the links had the apparently the files to patch the Japanese version of this game to have English translation, the PS3 sprites, and CG's enabled, I think. Now here's the thing. This is obviously, what I'm playing right now is obviously the Steam version. And here's my reasoning behind it. I don't know how long it's going to take me, because I've never attempted something like this. I mean, hell, it was a bit of a headache trying to get the voice patch to work on this. Like, that was honestly a bit of a headache. So, I don't know how long it's going to take me to get the Japanese version of this set up, because I want to make you guys happy. I mean, if there's stuff that's being left out, like, I honestly want to see it. And one of you guys actually showed me a CG that would have shown with George and Shannon, and I'm thinking, well, why didn't they keep that in here? But, whatever. I don't know how long it's going to take me. Just, all I can ask is if you guys would be patient, and I'll try to give you updates on how that's going. Like, if I'll be able to successfully get it to work or not. That's pretty much all I can say at the moment. So, again, thank you, oh crap, what was your name? The Anti-Cosmic, I believe? Yeah, were you the one that gave me the links? No, wait. Yeah, I think it was you. God damn it, I should have remembered this. I should have wrote this down. Let's go back to the previous video. Regardless, thank you for giving me the files. I'll try and see what I can do. I'll try. Anyway, let's just go ahead and continue where we left off. Okay. Okay, so we're told this through Shannon's perspective this time. Okay. Shannon entered the entrance hall to the mansion with a tottering gait. A what? A mixture of exaltation and uncertainty gave her a feeling that she couldn't easily describe. It swelled up in her chest until it felt like she was about to burst. After stopping for a second in front of the servant room to take a deep breath and calm her heart, she opened the door. Inside, Goda, who had been ordered to take the midnight shift of the mansion tonight, was absorbed in a worn-out crossword puzzle magazine. He looked up for an instant to see if one of the family had come, but when he realized it was a fellow servant, he returned to his puzzle as if nothing had happened.
源氏様より郷田さんのお手伝いにつくように言われてまいりました。
Ah, is that so? That's a relief. I was just about to go check that the mansion was fully locked up, but I felt uneasy about leaving this room unmanned. After all, Kraus-sama and the others' meeting looks as though it will continue for quite some time. They might request some tea at any moment.
そうですよね。
I honestly forgot what voice I gave this guy, and I'm surprised.
ではどうしましょうか。私が留守番を。
ではシャノンさん、申し訳ありませんが、お屋敷内の見回りをお願いします。私はここで親族の皆さんのご用命の待機をしておりますので。
え？
はい。
Shannon was slightly disgusted. Even though she'd come here to help out as a favor, she was casually being forced to do the job of the person actually on duty. Go to what the hell? Furthermore, after one-sidedly forcing that task on her, Goda returned to his magazine once again and became immersed in his crossword puzzle. Dude! Fuck you. I'm starting to hate Goda now a little bit. Like, I don't care if he used to work at a freaking hotel that was, like, so really damn good. That doesn't give him he's a new guy. That literally does not give him any right to, you know, be so cold to Cannon and Shannon. I was liking this guy. Now what the hell, man? Shannon bowed her head as a token sign of respect for her elder, then left the room to patrol the mansion. Thanks to her being a bit ticked off, she managed to suppress that floaty feeling she'd been having until just now. Ticked off, yeah, that's what it was. And anyway, she couldn't let Genji or Cannon see her looking like this. She wanted a little time to herself until her heart calmed down, so maybe going on patrol wouldn't be so bad. Oh, music stopped. She began to hear the tumultuous voices of the family discussion coming from the dining hall. Someone was speaking at great length, only to be interrupted by someone else. The second person also began to speak in a very long, drawn-out fashion, until yet another person interrupted. That kept on repeating. It was as though their displeasure was seeping out through their voices. She had been told to go to the guest house, so it would be bad if Kraus discovered her. Thinking this, Shannon dashed past the dining hall. Then, she went along a prearranged route through the dark mansion, checking that all the locks were secure. She walked down the hall, checking each window. There were no humans on Rokanjima other than those connected to the family, so locking up didn't really serve that much of a purpose. No one had been in the habit of locking up at the Ushiramiya head family, at least not until Natsuhi had scolded them for being careless. The metal fixtures on the windows were ice cold, and as she checked them one by one, the glow in her heart seemed to cool down. What the? Butterflies? Golden butterflies. At the time, she thought she saw something twinkling across the hall. Twinkling? How could anything be twinkling through the darkness of the hall? Oh, good lord. She figured she must have been imagining it, but she held her breath. Grasping a curtain, she fearfully gazed down the hall. However, other than the occasional crack of thunder brightening the hallway, she was unable to glimpse any flicker again. Oh dear. It must have been her imagination after all. Maybe her heart was so agitated that she'd seen something that didn't even exist. Shannon went back to checking the windows. However, a certain unnerving memory was resurrected in the back of her mind. It was that ghost story, which had been passed down amongst the servants who had served the Ushiramiya head family. The mansion had two different masters, one of the day and one of the night. Beatrice, the master of the night, would sometimes fly around the mansion in the form of sparkling butterflies. That was the story. Come to think of it, didn't Kanonku once say he'd seen it with his own eyes? Though he got sulky when he said he must have imagined it and refused to believe him. Oh, when I said he must have imagined it. Could it possibly be true? The roar of the thunder gave no answer. Shannon, just get out of there. You've already been asked to marry. You've already got a husbando. Stay away from it. Is that the way it's called, husbando? I don't know. I think I'm wrong. I don't know. Just stay away. Simple as that. This is honestly feeling just a tiny bit tense. I don't like that. Oh boy. Okay. Oh. Hey, hello, Beatrice. Hey. What's going on? How you doing? Okay. Thank you. Hey, Rudolph. Hey, Kraus. Hey, Kitty. Hey, Rosa. Hey, Ava. Hey, Hideyoshi. Hey, Shannon. Hey, Goda. What's going on here? Hey, Cannon. Hey, Genji. I'm kind of glad I can remember these names. Hey, Kumasawa. Hey, Kinzo. Nanjo, my bad. George. Jessica and Battler. What's going on? Kinzo? What's going on? Okay, we're back at the painting. And the music stopped. What the? I've only been recording for 10 minutes. What the hell just happened? Okay. I've literally just been... Whoa! 6 in the morning? I think. So we're skipping to the morning, okay. The second day, October 5th, 1986. Okay. Genji tightened his bow tie and looked outside through a crack in the curtains. Maybe the rain had died down a tiny bit since the previous night. But the thick rain clouds didn't seem like they'd be letting any trace of the morning sun get by. The morning was dim and far from refreshing.
やはり今日いっぱいはやみそうにないか。
I assume so.
お待たせしました、源氏様。
Cannon finished checking his appearance and exited the washroom. On their normal schedule, it was rare for anyone to have to suffer going straight from a midnight shift to an early morning shift. They were on a special schedule for the 2 days of the family conference. However, unless the typhoon passed today, the relatives stay on this island would last until tomorrow. Cannon thought it best to be prepared for the special schedule to last an extra day. Okay. The two of them left the guest house, opening their umbrellas. The rose garden had been devastated by the wind and rain on the previous night. That's not good. Even though they'd spent several days making it beautiful to welcome the guests, one stormy night was enough to ruin it. Cannon sighed. I don't blame them. The two headed for the mansion. They were supposed to meet up with Goda and prepare breakfast. Goda was such a perfectionist dickhead that he had probably already woken up and was probably already preparing the breakfast as exquisite and elegant as glassware. They reached the overhang by the entrance to the mansion and folded up their umbrellas. Genji took a bundle of several keys from his pocket and unlocked the front door. The Ushiramiya family mansion was the only thing on Rokanjima, so in the past they hadn't been in the habit of locking up. However, Natsuhi had ordered that the mansion be locked up from midnight to early morning. Ever since then, unlocking the door in the early morning had become part of the servants' morning shift. This task had been given to Genji and Cannon, so that Goda could start preparing breakfast as soon as he woke up. Silence had fallen in the mansion, giving the impression that the mansion itself was still asleep.
では、朝の仕事を始めよう。
はい。
The two of them split up and began opening the curtains throughout the mansion. If the curtains stayed closed, the mansion would remain enveloped in faint darkness, as though it was still trapped in the previous night. Following a well-rehearsed procedure, Cannon went around the mansion, opening the curtains for one window after another without having to retrace his steps once. Even with this horrible weather, drawing the curtains made it feel just a little bit like morning. Well, I mean, I guess so. While doing that, he passed in front of the kitchen. Even though he hadn't smelled anything yet, his stomach started aching for some of Goda's prized cooking.
おはようございます。
He tried to greet Goda, who should have been getting breakfast ready, but Goda was nowhere to be seen. The kitchen was darkly lit, and not only were the curtains not open, but the fan wasn't even running. Okay. It was still cold, without any trace of a fire being lit, so of course there were no signs of breakfast being made either. That's odd. Though it would have been inexcusable, perhaps Goda had overslept. Even servants are only human. They sometimes sleep in and show up late. In the rare case that such a thing happens, it's part of a servant's code to hide the unsightly scene before anyone notices, smoothly cover it up, and make sure the family never even realizes that anything has gone wrong. Okay, I guess that's to cover up for your fellow servants. I guess that's a good idea. Cannon took the receiver of the phone that had been fitted to the wall and dialed the number for the extension line in the servant's sleeping room. He couldn't hear that characteristic sound of a dial tone. Cannon tried picking up the receiver again, but even so, he couldn't hear the usual dial tone. He tried dialing again, but it had no apparent effect. Could the lightning last night have damaged some machine breaking the extension line? Okay, something's not right here. The equipment in this mansion was all worn out. Okay. Kennen fully understood that even the smallest thing could have caused it to break down. He gave up trying to wake Goda with the phone and dashed over to the servant's sleeping room. Okay. How long has it been since I stopped sleeping and started lazily staring up at the ceiling? Wait. Who am I? Who is this? Oh! Okay. That vague sense of awakening was part of Natsuhi's usual morning experience. She always slept lightly, and she couldn't sleep at all without medicine. To Natsuhi, sleep was definitely not a happy thing. When she looked outside, she saw that it was still pouring. If she hadn't sensed a tiny amount of light, she might have mistakenly thought it was still the previous night. She herself was one of the hosts, so she mustn't wake up later than her guests. Urging herself on, she raised up her body, which still hadn't completely recovered from yesterday's weariness. No one would torment her as long as she remained inside this room. And her headache wouldn't get any worse here. This room was the only place she could find peace. So when she left, it meant returning to the world where her husband's siblings kept trying to stab each other in the back. I'm starting to feel even more and more bad for Natsuhi, really. In that case, wouldn't it be better to just stay locked up in this room forever? That ridiculous notion brought a bitter smile to Natsuhi's face. She was starting to sound like Kinzo. Oh. Though she often complained about Kinzo staying locked up in his own room and refusing to attend to everyone else, the truth was that she longed to do the same. Natsuhi gave her head a small shake, and her fantasy was replaced by the reawakening of her usual headache. Oh, I should feel bad for her. When she reached for the doorknob, trying to leave the room, her hand touched the scorpion charm that she had hung from it before going to sleep the previous night. It was Maria's charm, which Natsuhi had received from Jessica. Didn't Jessica say something about it having the power to repel magic, telling her to hang it from her doorknob? Maybe it was thanks to the charm that at least this room had been protected from the malice of her husband's siblings. As she thought this, her mood began to get a little more cheerful.
ジェシカのおかげで少しはゆっくり眠れたということかしら。
Then Natsuhi remembered. That's right. Last night, I promised Jessica that I'd give her a charm of my own in exchange for this one, didn't I? Natsuhi opened a drawer in her dresser and took out an antique accessory case that she had treasured when she was a child. Inside, there were many small objects that Natsuhi had thought were valuable at the time. From amidst those, she pulled out a red pouch. Inside was a small round mirror about 10 centimeters across. It looked quite old, but the design on the back of the mirror was very ornate, and it felt like something with a historical value. At the very least, it seemed much more authentic than the other charm, which looked like a plastic scorpion keychain. She had heard that this was a spiritual mirror for warding off evil spirits, and she had been given it specially by her grandmother when her grandfather's mementos had been distributed. It had been believed since long ago that a strange power resided in this mirror. Perhaps people thought it could reflect calamity and malice in the same way it reflected light. Natsuhi returned the mirror to its pouch. It would probably be a fitting object to hand over to Jessica. Aww. That's pretty nice. Oh. Just as she was placing it in her pocket, the sound of someone knocking on the door suddenly echoed through the room.
Hi.
おはようございます、奥様。
Oh.
早朝から申し訳ございません。
今行きます。何事ですか?
No servant had ever come to her this early in the morning, nor had they come to wake her in person. Perhaps something bad had happened? Maybe some fatal oversight had been made while preparing breakfast, something that would shame the household in front of their guests. Natsuhi took a deep breath in anticipation for whatever trouble she was about to hear of. When she opened the door, Genji once again gave a morning greeting while bowing deeply. Natsuhi tentatively responded.
おはようございます。何かありましたか?
申し訳ございません。昨夜の落雷で電話機器に故障が出たようです。内線電話が普通になっておりますもので、直接のお伺いになってしまったことをお許しください。
The extension telephone isn't working?
それは面倒になりましたね。修理は可能ですか?
残念ながら故障箇所がわかりません。後で業者を呼んで修理させたいと思います。
ということは、この台風が過ぎるまでは修理不能ということですか。つまり、客人たちの滞在中はずっと普通ということですね。客人たちのお世話に支障は。
Well, I don't think so. I mean, if you guys set up your own little, like, clock schedule to where you meet up and then discuss what's going on, I think that might help.
出ないよう最善を尽くします。
Genji seems like a pretty reliable guy, so I kind of trust him on this, I think.
結構です。粗相のないようよろしく頼みます。
Okay. That's good. Natsuhi let out a small sigh of relief. She had been prepared for the worst, but damage to the telephones wasn't the kind of trouble she was worried about. Then again, even this would probably be enough to spark sarcasm from Ava. Good lord, that venomous woman. Natsuhi gave her head a light shake.
朝食の準備は順調ですか？
それがゴーダの姿が見えません。
Huh?
朝食の支度もまだ行われておらず。
Wait, did you guys check his room? Where is he?
なんですって？
Natsuhi was indignant. To her, this was a much bigger problem than the phones not working. And despite that, this piece of information was the part that had been postponed. Why did everything go well most of the time and then come to something like this when the relatives were visiting? Natsuhi put her hand to her forehead and shook her head.
大方朝寝坊でもしているのでしょう。とにかく誰でもいいから急いで朝食の準備を。
What? Natsuhi exited into the hall and turned around for a second to close the door to her room. The creepy thing she saw there silenced her completely. Creepy thing? What? What? It was an unpleasant sight, as though someone had dipped their fingers in a reddish black liquid and scratched at the door around the doorknob? It was probably some sort of awful prank, arranged by some person who'd want to make it look as though they'd tried to force the door with their bloody hands. How did Genji not...
これは
How did Genji not notice
何の
this?
悪趣味な。
私も今ここにお伺いして初めて気づきました。後ほど清掃いたします。
大方趣味の悪い客人の冗談でしょう。
Good lord.
不愉快です。実に不愉快です。
Who in the world would pull such a childish and disgusting prank? Natsuhi had a pretty good idea, but of course there was no proof. So even if she pushed the issue, it would just seem as though she was making a fuss about nothing. In fact, it would surely be better to act as though she hadn't realized that such a prank had been played on her. Natsuhi gave the order to have it cleaned and headed off to the parlor with a squeak of her heels. Oh dear. Is that what happened to Goda? When Natsuhi and Genji arrived in the parlor, Ava and Hideyoshi were already there.
おはようございます、皆さん。
おはよう、夏日さん。朝食も合田さんが作るっちゅう話やないか。朝から胃袋が大喜びで騒ぎっぱなしなんや。
本家の楽しみは食事くらいがせいぜいですものね。
エヴァさんも朝からご機嫌がよろしいようで何よりです。
With a weary expression, Natsuhi returned Ava's gaze, which was fiercely competitive despite the early hour. Then Kennen jogged in. After bowing an apology to the relatives for running inside the mansion, he noticed Genji and told him something in a small voice.
カノン、ゴーダはまだ見つからないのですか？
申し訳ございません、奥様。お屋敷内もゲストハウスも回ったのですが。
Wait.
まだ。
Wait, then where is he?
一体どこへ行ったというのです。とりあえず今は ゴーダより朝食の準備が先決です。至急対応しなさい。
はい。
Kennen glanced at Genji. It seemed he had something else to report, but was uncertain whether or not the words should come from him. Huh? Genji nodded and decided to give the report himself.
奥様、ゴーダだけではありません。旦那様の姿もありません。
Wait, what?
主人が
Even Kraus?
はい。奥様より先に旦那様に朝食の準備がないことをご報告しようと思い、それから旦那様だけではありません。ルドルフ様ご夫妻とローザ様のお姿もありません。
What? Even they're missing too? What?
ゲストハウスにも屋敷にもですか？
はい。
Multiple people are missing.
ゲ
Okay.
ストハウスの部屋にもおられません。
Wait, if Rosa's gone, what about Maria? She's okay, right? Wait, that's right. She was sleeping with the cousins. Okay, good. When she'd heard that Goto alone was missing, she assumed he had slept in and was loafing around somewhere. However, now that she'd learned that several of the relatives were also nowhere to be seen, she began to take a slightly more optimistic view. Could last night's family conference have continued all night up until the present moment? If so, they might have wanted to cool their heads after being shut in a stuffy room, going out for walks on their own throughout the rain. The part about cooling their heads really sounded like something Kraus would say. Goto had probably been summoned to accompany them and aid them in some way. Goto was not a man who lost track of time. He had to understand that preparations for breakfast would be hindered if he did not return. Sorry. However, maybe the family conference had continued until this very moment, with an atmosphere that would make it hard for anyone to slip out. Yes, that theory would be quite convincing for Natsuhi. She remembered the illusion she'd felt that morning, as though the previous night had never ended. When she learned that the feeling wasn't just an illusion, she once again took a deep, weary breath. After all, that banquet of filthy vultures circling Kinzo's property was still going on.
大方、庭園のどこか、あるいは海岸の方で相も変わらず遺産の話を繰り返しているのでしょう。とにかく、ゴーダを呼び戻さなくては、いつまでも朝食の準備が整いません。
We're missing multiple people.
ってことはなんや。兄さんたちの話し合いはまだ続いとるんか。
She had planned to say it in a small voice, but Hideyoshi overheard Natsuhi and managed to grasp the situation.
兄さんもルドルフもタフね。ローザの場合は若さかしら。私たち、夕べの24時過ぎにはもう眠くてベッドに戻らせてもらったんだけど。確かにあの時点でも、まだ兄さんたちは熱論を交わしてたわ。男って、熱くなると嫌ね。
Natsuhi snorted, her face still blank.
カノン、表を探してらっしゃい。ゴーダを見つけたら、すぐに戻って朝食の準備をするよう伝えなさい。
かしこまりました。
夏日姉さん、表とは限らないわよ。お父様の書斎ってことはないかしら。
なるほど。考えられん話やないで。どういう話の流れかはわからんが、お父さんの主催に場所を移してお父さんにも混じってもらって議論を続けてるっちゅう可能性は十分あるやろ。
I doubt it.
そのような汚らわしい話題を好んでお父様が書斎へ招き入れることなど考えられません。
あらそう。じゃあ仕方ないわね。源氏さんとカノン君は申し訳ないけど外を探してきてちょうだい。確かに兄さんなら頭を冷やすために外を散歩しようなんて言い出しても不思議はないわ。たとえこんな天気でもね。 私はお父様の書斎に行ってくるわ。ひょっとするとそこにいるかもしれないしね。
客人であるエヴァさんにそこまでのご足労はおかけできません。私が行ってきます。朝のご挨拶も兼ねて。
あら、じゃあお願いするわね。でも朝の挨拶を交わしてくれるかは疑わしいわね。夏日姉さんってお父様とは仲よろしかったかしら？
Ava, shut up.
仲が良いかは分かりかねますが、後宮家の跡継ぎの妻を許されるだけの信頼を得ていると確信しています。
Honestly, somehow I doubt that.
な
Considering
ら
what he said.
きっと返事くらいはしてくれるわね。お父様とは朝食くらいご一緒したいの。ぜひ降りてきてくださるよう説得してくれないかしら？私たちはすっかり嫌われちゃってるみたいだけど、そこまで信頼を得ている夏日姉さんの言うことなら聞いてくれそうですもの。
Ava!
そこまで短歌を切ってお父様を説得できず、一人で降りてきちゃったりしたら、信頼を得ているなんて二度と言えないかもね。
自信はありませんが、努力はします。
Natsuhi responded, looking discouraged. However, knowing Kinzo's temperament, she had absolutely no confidence in her ability to bring him out. Ava was clearly mocking her, confident that Natsuhi wouldn't be able to get Kinzo to come down. But even so, Natsuhi would lose face if she gave up, saying it was impossible and letting Ava go instead. Ava's mean-spirited and unreasonable demand made Natsuhi clench her fists slightly. Smack that bitch. When Genji realized this, he softly spoke to her over her shoulder.
奥様、よろしければこれをお持ちください。
それは？
Genji handed Natsuhi a sparkling gold key of ornate design. It was the key to Kinzo's study? The study had an auto lock and couldn't be unlocked as long as Kinzo forbade entrance. However, since Genji was especially trusted by Kinzo, he was allowed to carry a key to that door.
でもこの鍵を使ったら、あなたも咎めを受けるのではありませんか？
Genji, why?
親方様は深くお休みになられている時、扉をそれに親方様にお部屋を出ていただくよう説得するには、扉越しでは難しゅうございましょう。
源氏。
Until Natsuhi had thought of Genji as a cold servant who wouldn't do anything for her since he worked directly under Kinzo. But it looked like she would have to alter her understanding of him. She wanted to communicate her gratitude, but by then Genji had already turned his back on her and was walking down the corridor with Kennen. But as Natsuhi watched them go, the words directed at her from behind were sneering.
じゃあお父様を必ず連れてきてね。息子のかわいい嫁の言うことですもの。きっと聞いてくれるわよ。
Shut up! Good lord, you're making me hate you.
私たちは客人だから、ここでのんびりくつろがせてもらうわ。
And literally, you are venomous.
予算かえば口が過ぎるで。
Thank you, voice of reason, Hideyoshi.
すまんが夏日姉さん、お父さんのことをよろしく頼むわ。
He seems like the... Good lord. Hideyoshi, you're good. I like you. Without answering, Natsuhi forcefully spun around on her heels and quickly left that place. After all that excitement the previous night, there was no way anyone was going to wake up early. Oh, we're back to these guys. George, Aniki, Jessica, and I were snoring loudly on the beds in the cousins' room. But Maria, who had gone straight to bed without joining in, was completely awake. As she rubbed her sleepy eyes and looked around, she was met with the loud snoring of the other three cousins. For a while, Maria had to think about what had happened. After that, she realized that her mother wasn't with her, but she quickly got lonely. Maria left the cousins' room, trying to head to the room that had been arranged for her and her mother. Paying no heed to the three who were sleeping soundly, she slammed the door shut. In response, Battler mumbled and rolled over in his sleep, but it wasn't enough to wake him up. After a while, Maria returned, once again opening the door with a lively bang. When she had left the room, her face had been sleepy, but now that she was back, she looked irritated. She is looking for her mother, so... After that, she climbed up on Battler's bed, which just happened to be the closest, and started yelling and jumping on it like it was a trampoline. After making sure I was awake, Maria moved over to George Oniki's bed and started jumping on that too. In that manner, the three of us were all greeted with an extremely pleasant awakening. Oh yes, the most pleasant.
ありがとう、マリアちゃん。僕たちは夕べが遅かったから寝坊しちゃったのを起こしてくれたんだね。でも、もう少しだけ起こし方を優しくしてくれると完璧だったかな。
George Nissan, you really are an adult. I respect that.
もうすぐ7時なんだな。ま、確かにもう起きてもいい頃だぜ。
ローザおばさんが部屋にいなかったの？もう起きてお屋敷の方に行っちゃったのかな？いない。
Maria kept groaning and looking unhappy. She didn't exactly seem lonely because her mother wasn't around. It was more like she was irritated and thrown off balance because her mother wasn't where she'd expected. If we could just tell her where her mother was, that alone would probably calm her down. But unfortunately, we had no way of knowing where Aunt Rosa was, except that she wasn't here.
どうせ朝食に行くことになるんだし、屋敷の方に行こうぜ。
そうだな。マリア、一緒に屋敷へ行こうぜ。きっとローザおばさんもそこさ。
Okay, question. We have yet to make mention of Shannon. Where's Shannon?
ママはお屋敷なら行く。
そうだね。お屋敷に行こうか。多分、親たちはもう向こうに行ってるんだよ。
Maria regained her usual composure so completely, her earlier tantrum now seemed like a lie. We got dressed, left the room, and headed for the mansion. Okay. Once more, there was a knocking sound on the study door, but there was no answer. He seemed to be sleeping still, and I could not wake him. If she went back downstairs and said something like that, Ava would probably be amused and triumphant. And even putting Ava aside, it was problematic that Kinzo had stayed shut away during this entire once-a-year conference, not even coming down to greet anyone. Have to go to the bathroom eventually, right? Even the family head, no, especially the family head, couldn't fail to make an appearance. I wonder if I can convince him myself. Natsuhi readied herself and used the key that she'd borrowed from Genji to open the door. Who the fuck is Kenji? My bad. Even though she was prepared for the sweet stench, which seemed to eat into one's brain as it poured out the small crack in the door, she couldn't help but grimace. Thinking that he might still be sleeping, Natsuhi entered the room quietly. When she did, Kinzo was already awake and looking down out of the window.
お目覚めでしたか。おはようございます。
どうやって入ったのか。
Kinzo spoke with his back still facing her. His voice was not harsh, but calm, and Natsuhi was slightly reassured. However, though he was awake, he wouldn't have ignored all that knocking if he was in a good mood. Natsuhi wasn't able to relax.
申し訳ございませんでした。源氏さんにお願いして 書斎の鍵をお借りさせていただきました。
ほう、元気がか。我が友がそれに足ると思ったならば、話を聞かぬわけにもいくまい。
Wait, really?
して、私に何言おうか。
Wait, seriously?
はい。もうじき朝食の準備が整いますが、ぜひお父様にもおいでいただきたく思いまして。
朝食はここでとる。
I figured that.
いつものように運ばせるがいい。
しかしお父様、年に一度の親族会議です。せめてお顔をお見せになってください。
下に降りて、私の死後、遺産をどのように食いちぎるのかを決める議論に加われというのか。バカらしい。そのような話は私を抜きで好きに進めるがいい。そしてそれが親族会議だというなら、私がこの部屋を出るほどの価値はない。
Okay. I never really... I guess I probably should have thought of it like that. I mean, obviously he hates his family. I should have thought of it like in that manner. I mean, yeah, that would... I wouldn't know how to feel, but... I guess in this manner, I don't blame Kinzo, I guess. Like, that would be kind of a terrible thing to talk about. Literally, you're just sitting there, and all of these people who are supposed to be your inheritors are basically bickering over your... and basically bickering over what you've built up, and that just keeps reminding you that they obviously don't care about you, they care about what you're worth. So, I guess in that manner, I can kind of understand Kinzo's feelings. Like, I guess that's kind of... I can't say it's a good reason, but I can certainly see why he pretty much hates his family, essentially.
私は忙しいのだ。構うでない。
His last words carried the threat that any further questions would not be appreciated. Natsuhi, realizing that adding any further pleas would finally bring his wrath down upon her, she didn't look forward to facing Ava's sarcasm, but there was nothing more Natsuhi could do.
そうですか。わかりました。みんな残念がるでしょうが、そう伝えます。
Natsuhi decided to give up. Bowing silently, she tried to leave the room before Kinzo's spasmodic temper could flare up. As she did, Kinzo spoke to her. His voice was so calm and gentle, it felt like it came from an entirely different person. Huh?
夏日、後ろ宮の家に嫁ぎ、もう随分になるな。
Oh, crap.
はい。後宮を名乗ることを許されてから、もう随分になります。
前の家が恋しくなることもあるか。
What?
いいえ。嫁ぐとは、成果を捨てることです。
Well, that's not really what marriage means, but okay.
私は後宮夏日。帰る家も、懐かしむ家も、すべてはこの後宮の家のみです。
She truly wasn't exaggerating. Such was the resolve she felt whenever she applied the Ushinomiya family name to herself. And that's precisely why she was so saddened when her husband didn't treat her like an Ushinomiya, leaving her to race about in vain.
クラウスな女で、お前がその夫であったなら、いや、それは言うまい。
Huh? Say what?
それは、お父様。
Natsuhi was shocked. If Kinzo's words just now were what they seemed, it would have been more than enough to make up for all that she'd suffered up to that point.
忘れよ。年寄りのざれ言だ。
Kinzo once again faced away from her. He told her to forget it, but Natsuhi couldn't help feeling a warmth in her heart. So I guess judging by that dialogue, Kenzo actually had a soft spot for Natsuhi.
お父様、この夏日は血はつながらずともお父様の娘です。後ろ宮家の名誉も栄光も、そしてお父様が残されたものも全て、この夏日が必ずや守ってみせますから。
お前に片翼のわしをまとう資格はない。しかしお前の心には確かに片翼のわしが刻まれている。ならばお前は間違いなく我が血族で後宮家の栄光を引き継ぐものだ。お前の衣服にわしがないことを嘲笑う者もいよう。しかしそれに耳を貸すことはない。心にわしを持つ者だけが真の私の血族なのだ。お前を後宮家に迎えられたことを今は光栄に思っている。
Oh my god. That actually made me tear up just slightly. Holy crap. Without saying anything more, Kenzo remained with his back to Natsuhi. However, Natsuhi couldn't help but feel something warm well up inside her that she hadn't felt since long ago, when she had been just a child. Natsuhi bowed silently to his back and left the room.
あら、ちょうどいいタイミングだったわね。お父様の様子はどう？あんまり遅いから様子を見に来ちゃったのよ。
When Natsuhi left the study, she saw Ava climbing the stairs and their eyes met. Ava was smirking unpleasantly, thinking that Natsuhi would leave drudgingly after failing to convince Kinzo. However, the way Natsuhi was now, such a frivolous laugh would not disturb her. She was not permitted to wear the family crest on her clothing, but she was permitted to wear it in her heart. So she spoke calmly, clearly, and confidently, with the dignity of the one who would protect the Ushiramiya family's glory.
お父様は親族会議にはおいでにならないそうです。汚らわしい議題に関心はないと仰せです。
とかなんとか言っちゃって。
Go ahead and try it. I bet you won't even be able to affect Natsuhi now.
お父様を説得できなかったんなら素直にそう言えばいいじゃない。
哀れですね。お父様が嘆かれるお気持ちも分かろうというものです。
Oh!
それはどういう意味よ。
Yes! You go, Natsuhi. Natsuhi did not answer. Just as Kinzo had done earlier, she showed Ava her back as she headed down the stairs. Ava finally realized that she was being made fun of, that something had happened to quickly bolster her Natsuhi's confidence. Even so, she apparently didn't have the courage to risk Kinzo's wrath. Unable to even knock on the door, she could only click her tongue, make a motion as though scratching at it, and follow after Natsuhi.
それで兄さんたちはいたの？お父様に聞いたの？
聞きそびれましたが、書斎の中にはいませんでした。お父様が夫たちの下船な話のために入室を許すこともありえませんから、行き先を知ることもないでしょう。下に降りて使用人たちが探してくれるのを待ちましょう。朝食は遅れますが、お茶でもいかがです？エヴァさん。
別に結構よ。
I'm happy you got your confidence, Natsuhi. Ava couldn't hide her confusion at the complete difference in Natsuhi's attitude. She was acting so boldly, and while Ava hated to admit it, she even had a sense of dignity about her. Unable to find fault with anything, Ava could only follow Natsuhi back to the parlor. When the two of them returned to the parlor, Hideyoshi had been joined by the 4 children and Nanjo. Genji, who had been talking with Hideyoshi, reported the current situation when he noticed that Natsuhi had returned.
主人たちはまだ見つからないのですか？
はい。申し訳ございません。あと、熊沢が朝食の準備に入りました。もう少し 時間をいただきたいとのことです。
The clock read a little past 8. 8 should have been the time to start breakfast. Normally, going over that time limit would be a disgrace to the host.
今、カノンが表を探しています。それから、シャノンの姿も見えます。
Oh no! Oh no, 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 no. Not her too. Ah, damn it.
シャノンまで？まったく。主人は何を従えて散歩に出かけたのですか？
Just how many people had gone missing by now? Now that the number was this large, it was starting to feel truly unpleasant, as though the people here were the only ones being left out of something interesting. At least, that seemed to reflect the feelings of the children, and Maria in particular. She was indignant, her stomach grumbling, almost as though her mother and the others had left her alone to go off and eat something delicious without her. The other children were flipping through the channels on the television, trying to find a program that might interest Maria and cheer her up again. Nanja was sitting on the sofa, gazing blissfully at the children while reading a book. It must have been a book about chess. The sound of footsteps came rushing towards them with a pitter-patter. There was only one set, so they realized before seeing who it belonged to that it was probably Cannon, not Kraus and the rest.
奥様、失礼します。
その様子では見つけられなかったようですね。
申し訳ございません。まだ。
もう十分です。ご苦労をかけました。
She didn't know where they were, but they had to be somewhere on this island. They hadn't had a thing to eat since the previous night, so their stomachs must be growling about now. They'd probably come plodding back of their own accord before long. By now, Natsuhi was thoroughly exasperated and started to feel that there was no reason for them to go out of their way in search.
私はお客様方にお茶のご用意をしに厨房へ行きます。二人とも早朝からご苦労様でした。
Natsuhi left the parlor, acting as though the release in tension had caused a new surge in her headache. Cannon tried to call back to her back, but Natsuhi left swiftly.
どうした？まだ何かあるのか？
はい。旦那様方のお姿を見つけることはできませんでしたが、その。
What? Cannon sounded evasive. It looked as though he didn't know where they were, but had spotted something that might be connected to their disappearance. Ava and Hideyoshi noticed this exchange of words and came over. They'd probably picked up on something strange in Cannon's behavior.
どうしたんや、カノン君。クラウス兄さんたちは見つかったんか？
実は、バラ庭園の倉庫の様子がおかしいのです。
Huh? The Rose Garden storehouse.
様子がおかしい。というのはどういう意味だ？
それが、何と説明すればいいのか。
Cannon hesitated once more. His tone wasn't all what you'd expect from this usually fearless boy. Seeing this, Ava and Hideyoshi looked at each other dubiously.
どういうこと？倉庫の中に兄さんたちがいたんじゃないの？
いえ、中はこれから調べます。その鍵を取りに戻ったところなのですが、
What is it?
ようわからんが、とにかく中を調べればいいだけの話じゃないか。その倉庫の鍵はどこにあるんや？
使用人室にあります。すぐに中を確かめましょう。
Okay. Cannon dashed off to the servant room and returned with the key. Genji left the parlor, saying that he would go check, but then Ava and Hideyoshi followed after him. What was this something strange about the storehouse that had caused the usually fearless Cannon to hesitate? I don't know. It was still pouring outside, but perhaps their curiosity over this something that Cannon couldn't talk about won out. While the children made a big fuss watching television, Cannon and the rest dashed over to the entrance. Okay, what's going on? The Rose Garden storehouse is a place that housed various tools used to manage the garden. It was definitely not a pretty building. Because of its appearance, it had been built so that it was hidden in the corner of the Rose Garden. Cannon, Genji, Ava, and Hideyoshi came cutting across the Rose Garden holding umbrellas. They entered a small path just off the Rose Garden, which is normally off limits for those appreciating the garden and only used by those maintaining it. As they dashed down that, the storehouse came into view in front of them. Okay, so what's strange about it? Looks like a garage door. Or is that just the side of the building? It was quite an old shed, and compared to the flawlessly perfect beauty of the rose garden, it was pretty seedy looking. It was easy to understand why it had been built in a hard-to-see place. Ava and Hideyoshi arrived at the storehouse long after Ken and Genji.
カノン君たちは早いな。わしは心臓が爆発しそうや。
こんなところに倉庫なんか建ててたのね。何よそれ。
What? When Ava looked where Cannon was pointing, she was at a loss for words. Noticing this, Hideyoshi also followed Cannon's finger and was likewise too shocked to speak. What was it? The entrance to the storehouse was a kind of shutter. And there, everyone suddenly realized why Cannon had been unable to find words to describe what they now saw. What is it? On the shutter, which was completely filthy from being exposed to wind and rain for so long, stuck right on it. What the hell? There was something that looked like a strange dark red liquid. Mucus? Or maybe it was some sticky paint. An indescribably eerie shape was drawn on the shutter with some kind of ghastly substance. The rain had caused it to drip down like fresh blood leaking from an open wound. No more beating around the bush, some kind of mark was drawn there, with a ghastly substance that looked like blood, in a shape that seemed to suggest something ominous. 2 circles were drawn there, and inside them was a design that looked like a cross. The 4 ends of the cross were widely exaggerated, and it looked like some kind of crest from somewhere around Europe. And in the cracks between these shapes, written closely packed together, were some unfamiliar characters, or possibly symbols.
なんちゅう悪趣味な落書きや。これ、あれか？悪魔の儀式とかの魔法陣いうやつとちゃうか？
Probably. It wasn't surprising that Hideyoshi would say that about such a ghastly shape, drawn with a deep red dripping substance.
これ、いつ書かれたの？
昨日、雨が降り出す前にここに来ましたが、その時には何も書かれてませんでした。
他の方々の目に触れる前に何とかしよう。ご覧になられたらご不快になられるだろう。
そうね。ただの倉庫小屋とはいえ、こんな気持ち悪い落書きを1秒たりとも放置したくないわ。
倉庫の中に塗料があります。
There's some paint inside the storehouse.
応急処置で後日天気のいい日に改めて塗装しましょう。
Okay. Genji remembered that he had just recently seen another scribble, and that it too had been made with the strange dark red substance of the same color as this. That must have been... That's right. He had seen it on the door to Natsuhi's room. What?
カノン君、さっさとこの落書きを消して戻りましょう。たとえ倉庫とはいえ、実家の落書きは本当に腹立たしいわ。
はい。すぐに済ませますので。
Cannon squatted in front of the shutter and unlocked it. He then lifted it up with all his strength. A boisterous noise resounded, and the eerie shape drawn on the shutter began to get sucked in through the top as the shutter was raised. What? At least, for the time being, that ominous drawing disappeared from their direct gaze, and they all breathed a sigh of relief. Thanks to a kid's program... Okay, now we're back here. Thanks to a kid's program they came across, Maria was feeling much better. Battler and Jessica were poking fun at the kids' show at every turn, cackling together. George was enjoying the program with Maria from her perspective. Nanjo sat on the sofa by himself, passing the time by reading quietly. They heard hurried footsteps coming from the hallway. They were the footsteps of a single person. Did that mean it wasn't the group of 4 that had just left? It was Genji. It was very rare for Genji, who considered being out of breath a violation of a servant's virtues, to be gasping for air. What? He had probably come dashing back from outside the mansion. What was in there? His shoulders were soaking wet, and he didn't have his usual trim appearance. When Genji noticed Nanjo looking at him, he gave a small silent bow and quickly approached him.
Nanjo sensei, 申し訳ございません。至急お越しください。何事ですかな?
As Genji whispered something into Nanjo's ear, Nanjo went pale. He rose from the sofa, trying not to be noticed by the children who were still engrossed by the TV, and the two of them rapidly left the parlor, muffling their footsteps. What's going on? Just as they were about to exit the parlor, they came across Natsuhi, who was pushing a serving cart loaded with the tea set. Genji whispered something into Natsuhi's ear, and Natsuhi went pale too in apparent shock. Then, leaving the serving cart where it was, the three of them dashed towards the entrance. What's in there? George noticed them running down the rose garden through the window.
なんだろう。源氏さんと南條先生と、あれは夏日おばさんかな。
どうしたんだよ、兄貴。
何かあったのかな。ひどい慌てようだったね。
When Jessica and Maria saw that Ava, Hideyoshi, and Nanjo were no longer in their seats, and that the serving cart had been abandoned in the entrance to the parlor, they also realized that something was the matter.
何か事故でもあったとか？
行ってみようぜ。俺たちだけのけ者なんて面白くねえしな。
I don't like this. For some reason, what Battler said sounded extremely indiscreet. But they couldn't deny that they were a little insecure and concerned after seeing the adults run off into the rain without regard to their appearance.
行ってみようぜ。何があったか気になるぜ。
Jessica's uneasy words spoke for all of them.
おい、マリア。お前も来るか？それとも、テレビを見てるか？
おう。マリアはテレビがいい。おう。
We shouldn't leave Maria by herself.
マリアちゃん、すぐ戻るからね。テレビを見て待ってるんだよ。
I don't like this. We shouldn't leave her by herself. By the time the kids made it outside, the adults were no longer in sight. But Jessica seemed to have a pretty good idea where they'd gone, judging by the direction they'd been running. Following Jessica, we ran through the rain-soaked rose garden. The wind seemed to suddenly get stronger. The malicious sound of thunder began to ring out like it had the previous night. It felt like an eerie something had surrounded the island and was trying to stop us from moving forward.
ジェシカ、この先には何があるんだ？
確か園芸道具なんかの倉庫があったはずだぜ。
そんなところに一体何があるんだろうね。
Just as Jessica had said, they began to see a storehouse in front of them. They could also see the adults there. The shutters to the storehouse were open, and several adults looked as though they were searching for something. For some reason, only Natsuhi was outside the storehouse. Without even holding an umbrella, she looked like she was hanging her head, and her back was facing them. There was Genji, Nanjo, and Natsuhi, who had just left the mansion. The ones who'd left earlier, Kennen, Ava, and Hideyoshi, were also there, making for a small crowd of people. But there was absolutely no bustle of activity. When Natsuhi realized that the children were approaching, a terrible expression rose to her face and she ran at them with her arms spread wide. What? What's going on? Oh god, didn't mean to do that. Didn't mean to do that. Didn't mean to do that. Didn't mean... Nope. Sorry, we're going back. Check the backlog. But despite that, no. Because of that, the kids saw the scene Natsuhi was trying to keep away from them. Okay. Inside in the storehouse, with a shutter wide open, a faint fluorescent light shone down. And right there was... What the hell? Jessica's piercing shriek ran out. But that was just because Jessica's scream was the loudest. The same thing spilled out of Battler and George's mouths as well. What? Ava spread her arms just like Natsuhi, roaring at the kids with a bone-chilling expression on her face.
Georgie! みんなを連れて屋敷に帰っていなさい! 早く! 今すぐに!
When Natsuhi spread her arms, I thought she was trying to prevent us from advancing any further. But that wasn't why Ava was spreading her arms right now. She was trying to stop us kids from seeing that terrible scene. It was her mother's heart trying to protect the eyes and hearts of his children by blocking our view at that terrible scene by at least the width of one of her arms. Is this some kind of joke? God! Somebody's in there. I'd seen this kind of cheap scene all too often. In manga, TV, anime, and movies, I'd seen it over and over again. This is just seeing something appear in real life that I'd seen plenty of times before in some of those more sensational movies, right? That alone shouldn't... But that suit... It's that old bastard's, isn't it? No! I get it. And that's Uncle Klaus. And Kitty-san and Aunt Rose... All of them? What? All of them?
死後硬直をほぼ全身に認められる。頼む。死後6時間以上は経過しておる。損壊部位の状況を見る限り死後に破壊された可能性が高い。いや、めったなことは言え。私は町医者だ。検視は専門外だ。ちゅうことは何や。殺しただけじゃ飽き足らず、さらにこんな無体なことをしたん言うんか。悪魔や、悪魔の所業や。
Aunt Natsuhi caught Jessica in her arms, and Aunt Ava caught George on a key. So I was the only one who could approach the entrance to the storehouse. If only there had been someone there to catch me too. I wouldn't have needed to have this horrible, evil scene burned into my eyes. No, that's not it. It isn't that there's no one here to catch me. The people who should catch me, they're right there, aren't they? Just as Jessica said, it did look like a storehouse for gardening tools. A lawnmower with extra blades, a grass sickle and a hammer, some carpentry tools such as a saw, piled up potted plants and bags of fertilizer. And treated just the same, the corpses of several people had been laid to rest there. Had been tossed in there. I could tell them by their clothes. That old bastard and Kitty-san, Uncle Kraus and Aunt Rosa. Beyond that, Goda-san. Are there still more of them? How many people died? You're fucking kidding me! I can't even count them on one hand, damn it! I didn't know whether it had been one of those gardening tools, which if used for something other than their intended purpose could definitely be wielded with a naked brutality, or whether some horrible tool had been brought in here specifically for this. Anyway, each one of the bodies jammed in there had been given an atrocious makeup. It wasn't makeup. It was more like their faces had been plowed. Their faces were smashed, forced into expressions that normal people couldn't even make after death. I could tell where the eyes or the noses were, but I could find their mouths because they were gaping wide, their gums exposed. Their front teeth were missing. And even the cheeks that should have been covered, all of this were torn up and laid bare. That trendy makeup you always spent so much time on, even though your man isn't doing a thing now.
Oyaji! てめえは絶対地獄行きだとは思ってたぜ。でもよ、ここまでじゃねえだろ。ここまでひでえ目に遭わされるほどの悪党じゃなかっただろうがよ。だからキリストもさ、こんな男と付き合うのはやめろって言ったんだ。あんたもね、そこまでの目に遭わされる理由は何もねえじゃねえかよ。顔がね、クソクソクソクソ。
バトラさん、これ以上見てはいかん。こんな姿をお父さんもお母さんもあんたに見せたいわけがない。お父さんとお母さんのためにもこれ以上見てはいかん。
死者ってのは安らかに眠る顔ってやつを拝ませてくれるんじゃねえのかよ。顔がねえんだよ。俺の親父ときっとどういう顔して死んじまったのか、それすらもわかんねえんだよ。なんだよ俺は。親父たちのことを思い出すときはこのくちゃくちゃのバカ、クソ親父のニヤニヤとした顔を思い出さなくていいんだからよ。最高だぜ最高だぜ。でもよ、綺麗さが吹っ飛んじゃうよ。たまにはムカつくと思ったけどよ、ちょいとかっこいい俺の姉貴分だったお人じゃねえかよ。こんなのってねえよ。クロスおじさんなんかまだマシじゃねえか。顔面じゃなくて側面だぜ。少なくとも顔半分は残ってるじゃねえかよ。まだマシだぜまだマシだぜ。
Jessica filled her ears with the sound of her own screaming, trying to shut out my reckless words.
よすんだバタラ君、もうよすんだ、もうよすんだ。兄貴兄貴、
Disregarding age and appearance, I fell to my knees, clinging to Aniki's waist and sobbing. It was as if I was crying on behalf of everyone there. Representing the feelings of everyone there, I screamed over and over. Fuck! What the hell?
お父さん、倒れているのはクラウスおじさん、ルドルフおじさん、キリエおばさんにローザおばさん、5人。
Please tell me just those... please just tell me those 5 or 8.
いや、
Oh god, no.
6人や。
6?
ここにもう一人おる。
Please don't... Please not... No. Please no. No, 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 no. The body Hideyoshi was looking down on now happened to be hidden among the shadows in that mountain range of objects, in a blind spot to George, who stood by the entrance. So George couldn't tell whose body it was. So George cursed himself. He cursed the fact that his worst guesses always turned out to be right. No!
じゃあ、お父さんの足元に倒れているのはシャノンなんだね。
No! No! George fell completely silent. He shook slightly, his lower lip trembling. Normally, he would have wanted to run to his beloved's body, screaming and crying. However, before rashly rushing forward, he worked to keep his composure, asked his father.
シャノンもクラウスおじさんたちと同じなのかな。
Please not her. Hideyoshi deeply understood the meaning of those words, so he couldn't give George an immediate answer. Or rather, he felt that silence was the only sincere and loving response he could give George right now. When George asked if Shannon was the same, he meant to ask whether her corpse was in the same condition as the others or not. Since Hideyoshi hadn't denied it, it meant her corpse was in the same brutal state.
シャノンを見てもいいかな。
いや、あかん。
どうして だって、もう二度とシャノンの顔を見られないんだよ。その、最後の顔、どうして見たらいけないんだよ。
お前が最後にシャノンちゃんに会ったのは昨日か。そうか。そのシャノンちゃんは、別れ際にお前にどんな顔を見せたんや。
素敵な、笑顔だったよ。
After he handed her the ring, she hesitated, even though she must have already made up her mind. Then she looked bashful, and ran away because she was embarrassed to let him see her face looking like that. That's the expression that was revived in George's mind.
そうか。ならシャノンちゃんも、その笑顔をお前に残したいと願うはずや。
Hideyoshi looked down upon Shannon's body laying at his feet. Just like the other bodies, it was in such a horrible state that it'd make anyone want to cover their eyes. Her head had been smashed in from the side, and no more than half of her expression remained. If the remaining, blood-soaked half of her expression had been wiped clean, would that graceful smile of hers have peeked out? But only half of it. Without thinking, Hideyoshi slapped his hands over his eyes. How brutal. If her face was going to be crushed anyway, then only all of it had been crushed. He might have been able to temporarily distract George from his pain by making the pathetic suggestion that it was someone else wearing Shannon's clothes. But half of her face had been left untouched. It caused the body so much humiliation, while still proving beyond a doubt that the body was Shannon's and no one else's. How inhuman. How brutish. And there, trying his best to burn the image of the remaining half of Shannon's expression into his eyes, as she lay at Hideyoshi's feet, was Cannon. Cannon was not crying. Tears had risen to his eyes, but they did not drip down. But that didn't mean he wasn't feeling as much sadness as everyone else. Losing Shannon, who had lived with him in the same orphanage, whom he had loved as a sister, must have been just the same as losing a blood relative.
ジョージ、シャノンちゃんはきっと、ありがとう言ってるぞ。お前に、恥ずかしいところを見られとうなかったんや。きっと、お前が耐えてくれたこと、感謝しとるで。
わかってる。わかってるよ、父さん。わかってるよ。
George leaned against the outside wall of the storehouse, crouching down limply.
父さん、頼みがあるんだ。
なんや。
僕の代わりに見てほしいんだ。シャノンは指に指輪をつけてるかな。
指輪？ちょいと見てみる。
Hideyoshi crouched down. As he did, Cannon silently pointed to one of Shannon's hands.
ああ、あるで。これはダイヤの指輪や。クズダイヤとちゃう。なかなかの値打ちもんや。
そうか。どっちの手のどの指にあるのかな。
と、左手の薬指や。そっか。シャノンちゃん。婚約しとったんか。
ジョージ。あなた、まさか。
エヴァ、今はそんなん関係ないで。シャノンちゃんは男に将来を約束されとったんや。一生を幸せにしちゃると男に言わせたんや。それが誰かは問題とちゃうで。 男にそこまで女の本懐やないか。いつこの指輪をもらったんかは知らん。誰が渡したかも知らん。だが、それでも、シャノンちゃんは指輪をもらえたんや。そして、それを受け入れ、左の薬指に通したんや。指輪を送ったをきっと喜んだんとちゃうか？
To most of the people there, Hideyoshi was simply disturbed by this extraordinary situation and was blurting out nonsense. However, someone who knew of George and Sanon's true relationship would understand the full meaning of those words.
そっか。ありがとう、モンさん。
George stood up. The traces of tears still streaked his face, but his expression had returned to his usual calm one.
行こう。バトラ君、ジェシカちゃん。これ以上、僕たちがここにいると、大人の邪魔になる。
そうだな。
Jessica sniffled once, showing her face to her mother, who had been holding her the whole time, to let her know she was okay now. When she faced George again, she once again had on her usual expression, although she still couldn't smile.
バトラー、しっかり。
Badler kept on crouching in front of his parents' bodies.
すまねえな。がっつり泣いたら落ち着いたぜ。親父の野郎。普段はクソクソ言ってるくせに。ちょっと死んじまったくらいでピーピー泣くんじゃねえぜって。笑ってやがら。親が死んだら泣くように。遺伝子すり込まれちまってたからよ。
Badler's face was still bright red from the tears, but he had at least recovered enough to fake a smile, if only a bitter one.
カノン、お前もこれ以上ここにいてはいけません。子供たちを連れて、お屋敷に戻っていなさい。
Natsuhi, who had been standing under the rain this whole time, unable to take a step into the storehouse. Maybe she had her own way of grieving, different from Badler's. Realizing that she had to take on a role of responsibility now that her husband was dead, she gave Cannon those orders.
はい、奥様。
Cannon rose silently and turned to face me. His face was pure white, almost as though his own heart had died along with Shannon, and there was no life in his expression. On an ordinary day, if he had been told to guide the children through the beautiful rose garden, Cannon might have led the way. But now, there was no distinction between Cannon and the children. They were now just kids of about the same age, suffering the pain of losing those close to them. After making sure that the children were leaving, Natsuhi started giving orders to Genji.
ケンジ、すぐに警察に連絡しなさい。台風が通り過ぎるまでは来られないでしょうが、どうすればいいか指示を与えてくれるはずです。
わかりました。防災用の無線機がありますので、それで連絡します。
When she heard that, Natsuhi remembered. That's right, the phones were out today, weren't they? However, they also had a radio, since they couldn't necessarily rely on phones all the time while living on an isolated island. At any rate, they should start by contacting the police and receiving their instructions. Everything else could wait.
ナチョ先生、もうこの場はどうしようもありませんか？
残念ながら私には何もできませんな。
わかりました。源氏、せめて主人たちの顔を何かでこのような姿を晒すことを当人にとっても屈辱的でしょうか。
はい。
Genji picked up several dried up towels from inside the storehouse, when Ava stopped him with a shrill voice.
ちょっとお待ちなさいよ。ここは犯行現場なんでしょ。なら変に手を加えちゃダメよ。私たちは混乱してて現場に土足で踏み入っちゃったけど、それはきっと警察の捜査の邪魔になったわよ。
Natsuhi glared at Ava, offended. Objectively speaking, Ava was right. Even so, she glared at Ava as though accusing her of refusing to do those tragic corpses, which had been humiliated even after death, the simple kindness of covering their faces. However, Ava had spoken both calmly and correctly. This horrible situation definitely wasn't an accident. It was a crime. Someone had killed them. It was a murder case. So they needed to be careful to avoid disturbing the site any further. They had to do what little they could to aid the police, preserving clues that might help catch the detestable culprit.
私もエヴァさんに賛成ですな。警察が来るまでここは手をつけずにしておくべきです。
奥様、いかがなさいますか。
そうですね。わかりました。ここを閉ざしなさい。それから念のためここに別の施錠をするように。
別の施錠？
ええ、ここに来た時シャッターの鍵は閉じていました。ということはシャッターの鍵を使い犯人が施錠したということです。
確かに通りや。じゃあここを開けた限り犯人の指紋が残ってるんとちゃうんか。
警察に証拠として提出する価値はあるでしょうけど、カノン君が普通に持ってここを開けるのに使用しちゃったわ。多分カノン君の指紋も付着しちゃってるわよ。そしてその鍵はさっき源氏さんに手渡され、源氏さんも素手で受け取ってる。大した証拠にはなりそうにないわね。
No, with everybody's fingerprints on it, no.
それは不用心でした。申し訳ございません。
It's not your fault. How could you have possibly known what was in here?
源氏さん、この倉庫の鍵は他にもあるんか？
いいえ、この一つだけです。
ということは犯人はその鍵を使用人室から持ち出し、そして律儀に元の場所に戻したちゅうことになるな。
What the hell? Hideyoshi's theory sounded plausible, but was actually very strange if you thought about it. Why would they go to all the trouble of returning a key they stole? No, if you think about it even more deeply, there are some points that are even more bizarre. When a criminal hides a body, they're usually trying to delay the point at which it'll be found, so they can use that time to escape. The six weren't necessarily killed here, but it was reasonable to assume that they were killed somewhere on this island, carried to the storehouse and hidden to delay the discovery of the crime. And yet, the eerie magic circle scribbled on the storehouse shutter had eloquently indicated the location of the hidden corpses. Sure, it didn't explicitly mention the corpses, but 6 people had gone missing. In that situation, someone had made such an obvious piece of graffiti and even returned the key to the shutter, like they wanted to be found out. Almost as if they wanted the corpses here to be discovered.
とにかく一度は犯人が開け閉めをした施錠だけでは信用できません。犯人の手からもこの場所を保護する意味で施錠を新たにしたいと言っているのです。
That's a good idea.
いい案だと思います。私も賛成です。
Genji fished around inside the storehouse and unsealed a brand new padlock that had been inside a small box.
鍵はどうなさいますか？
私が持ちましょう。責任を持って警察に手渡します。
Natsuhi took the key to the padlock from Genji's hand. After that, they all exited and lowered the shutter. And so, the corpses were once again sealed behind that shutter, which was still covered with that creepy magic circle. Genji crouched down in front of the shutter to fasten the new padlock. Shutters often have a place in front where you can attach or unlock, in addition to the main lock of the shutter. This was one of those types. In the midst of the roar of thunder and the pouring rain, the storehouse stood there, ominously. With its closed shutter still covered in a blood-like, creepy substance, it swallowed up the bodies of the 6. To Natsuhi, putting the new lock on wasn't mainly to preserve the scene for the police. She might have felt like she wanted to shut that mouth for all eternity, to prevent that eerie blast, that eerie beast from swallowing up any more victims.
さあ、行きましょう、南條先生。ご足労をありがとうございました。源氏は急いで警察に連絡を。
戻りましたらすぐに連絡します。
The adults left the storehouse. The ghastly magic circle drawn on the shutter kept the 6 bodies in its throat, looming eerily as the lightning occasionally lit it up. Jesus Christ! Ugh. Okay, only 15 minutes. Neat. Okay. Oh God! Oh my God! It changed. His corpse was found inside the Rose Garden storehouse. The direct cause of death is unknown, but it seems the side of his head was smashed after his death. This is the beginning of everything. His corpse was found inside the Rose Garden storehouse. His face seems to have been smashed after death. He has a right to lament his ill fortune. Her corpse was found inside the Rose. Her fame smashed after death. She was chosen by the demon's roulette. That's all there is to it. Well, wait. I'll get to see her again, so I don't feel lonely. What? Wait. What? I'll get to see her again, so I don't feel lonely? Whose perspective is... How unfortunate. Apparently, he was originally supposed to be on duty in the guest house. Don't worry, everyone will be revived in the Golden Land. Get it off of her, please. Oh God. Oh. I Okay, so I should have been prepared for this, but I was not. I was not expecting that to change. I have nothing. I literally need to cool down. I need to calm down. So, I have nothing to say. I can't say anything. I'll see you guys in the next video.